tell us more about the Resident Voice Index project?
Sure. The Resident Voice Index project is something that we do in collaboration with HQN and some other partners as well. And it's a project that MRI Software sponsors, and it's a free resource to the sector. So what we do is we survey social housing residents. We find out on a number of different topics, always short, nice, snappy, short surveys, and we look for ways to help to improve their lives. And we do that by picking up on various topics, finding out what's important to them, exploring very much their feelings and perceptions about their lives, with a view to then formulating these actionable insights reports, the likes of which I've got just the latest one here. And these reports we then try to get under the noses of all the people who could potentially make a difference. So we're looking for ways to help UK social housing residents, and then getting the right people who can make those differences to read these reports.
Now, you had a fantastic session here yesterday, and you was briefing us on the next cost of living report that you've just published and the latest results of the survey. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so this report is the product of all of those partners that I hinted at earlier, working together. It's a great team effort to turn what 5,231 social housing residents said about their feelings towards the cost of living crisis, and we turned that into this report here. So the survey was called the Cost of Living Survey, but we've entitled the report Surviving But Not Living, because that was one of the particularly hard-hitting quotations that came out of the survey when we asked the residents for how they felt about things, and they were saying that, you know, I'm now surviving, not living. So there was some what we call quantitative or numerical parts to the survey, where we can then say that 68% of those surveyed were worried either all the time or most of the time about their future financial situation. And that's, I mean, we should be worried about the worry, right? That's a concerning statistic. And that statistic went up to 82% in the under 35s. And one of the key things actually from the report was that younger people tended to be having a harder time. We looked at feelings of what we call agency, which is their power to control their future financial situation. We looked at the use of credit and buy now, pay later services in order to fund everyday monthly expenses. And again, the numbers of those were very concerning in some cases, and we called that the ticking time bomb, because of course as soon as that credit runs out, or those that unregulated buy now, pay later facilities are no longer available, then people are in very, very serious situation. Other parts of the survey looked more what we call the qualitative or the free text answers, and that's where we got a lot of these quotations, and there was some disturbing things in there at times, some very upsetting stuff actually, but one of the fundamentals of this project is that we always promised that we would be transparent about the results, and I think we're not going to flower anything up. We're not going to make it something that it isn't, and there were numerous references to suicide, and we have to be straight up about that. As disturbing as that is, we have to say that was the case, because indeed it was. We also found some very disturbing situations where parents are not feeding themselves so that they can feed their children, not turning on the heating, and that brings back damp and mould and things like that into their properties because they just can't afford to put the heating on. So from both the numerical and the free text answers, there was some really quite disturbing stuff.